This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. ODM party officials have told their broad-based partners UDA that zoning is there to stay, vowing that ODM strongholds should remain unchallenged. Party Chair Gladys Wanga and Minority Leader in the National Assembly Junet Mohammed, speaking in Kendu Bay for a farm's drive, called on the youth to rise up and defend the party.
We have a national party to deal with here. So don't talk to us about this, tunajua pale tunakwenda, chama yetu ni ODM, serikali yetu ni broad based. 2027 tumejipanga, tutakuwa na serikali yetu kama ODM ambayo ODM imetengeneza, na tutasaidia watu yetu kwa hiyo njia ya maafa, njia ya maandamano, njia ya kiujinga, njia ya kupiga risasi watu yetu. Tumefunga hiyo njia.
A group of armed men on Sunday stormed Dari Business Park, a multi-million shilling property at the center of a dispute between former Cabinet Secretary Raphael Tuju and the East African Development Bank. The youth reportedly forced their way into the premises after breaking down the main gate. Police said the group is believed to be associated with the former Cabinet Secretary, who confirmed that he has moved into the property.
There were men, more than 100, and all of them were armed with the crude weapons, with the head bunkers, rungus, slashers, so they were armed with the crude weapons, and they were with the Mheshimiwa, Honorable Raphael Tuju.
Health Cabinet Secretary Eden Duale and the Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua are back at it again over the status of SHA, while Gachagua maintains claims that the National Medical Scheme is on the brink of collapse. Duale defended the stability of the health scheme, insisting it is fully operational and delivering services to millions of Kenyans. The CS outlined the scheme's financial stability, saying it has already raised 169 billion Kenya shillings from contributors and paid 130 billion shillings to health facilities, and asked the former deputy president to stop inciting Kenyans.
One of the most hard-working IT company in our country, you link it to me. I told you to bring CR12 whether I am the owner. Hukulete, sasa umeenda Dubai. Ati mimi niko na kampuni Dubai. I am challenging you. I am ready to pay for your air ticket. We go with you to Dubai and go and show the people of Kenya. Ya kwamba they are not served very well under SHA. I want to tell you for free. Wale watu wanakuambia hiyo maneno ni wale nimefunga hospitali yao. The people who have closed their hospitals because of fraud are the ones you are dining with. And you cannot scare me.
And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. Radio Generation.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to Radio Generation. The time right now is 5 minutes past 6 o'clock. My name is Munga Lambuvi and I'm with City here on the People's Breakfast on Radio Generation. City, good morning. How are you doing? Uko namna? Okay. Usifight na microphone. Ukileta tu hivi itakuja.
Uko na microphone yako?
Niko nayo ndio hapa.
Okay. So, unajua vile mnasikizana, ndio?
City, good morning.
Morning, Paul.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Today
is
20th April.
Right.
I'm a very happy man
Why?
Because yesterday Liverpool played against Everton.
Of course.
It was a derby. That means that tulikuwa tunacheza sisi ni watu wa mtaa moja.
Derby ni manake nini?
Derby ni team mbili ambazo zinatoka mtaa moja zikipatana zinacheza. Waona sasa? Sasa wale watu wangu wa Liverpool walipatana na ndugu zao Everton literally across the street wakachuana. Guess who came on top? Liverpool came on top, man. Come on, man. I'm happy about it. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, I was watching the game and I was shouting and crying. I was, just
crying.
Yeah, because I was like,
why you don't have relatives who have died?
Every time we meet Everton, tutaandika. And even worse off, tukipatana nao kwao, ase turarua mbaya. Jana tumewatandika. You know what I mean? So it was a good time. It was a good game. Tulitoka 1-2. Yeah. Big shout out to watu wa Man City walicheza jana na team ya Arsenal wakatoka 1-2 2-1 rather because Man City was playing at home. Walikuwa wakati hivi tu Arsenal ingewamaliza. Hivi tu bro, hivi. Arsenal walikuwa wanagonga mpira zinagonga tu pole. Zinagonga pole, they just bounce back. I really felt for Arsenal yesterday, to be honest, because they deserved to win that game. They honestly did. Manchester City, of course, did their best as well to defend themselves at home. Like in Arsenal, man, I think I counted like 4 goals that they should have scored, but things just went against them. Kama si upepo, ni ukuta. Kama si ukuta, sijui ni nani. Then there's a guy called Gabriel. Gabriel kept on can I say ile kusumbua mtu initangwa JCT.
Nini?
Kusumbua mtu sana, ile kumchokoza. Alikuwa anamchokoza pale kwenye pitch. Mara anamshika anamvuruta. Kuna wakati hata alivuruta jazi yake akairarua. Kuna kale ka t-shirt kandani wao wanavaa.
He wasn't given a yellow card.
No, he wasn't.
Why?
Now, the guy who was refereeing yesterday's match between Manchester City and Arsenal is called Taylor. Taylor is a very strict ref. Yes.
And he's known.
He's a no-nonsense guy. But yesterday, man, aliref your game. Aliref ile game. Unbiased, very fair. Hiyo ninaweza sema yani, whatever happened because it was a very good game.
Okay, who won?
Man City won.
It was a fair game.
Yes. FC Porto pia walikuwa wanacheza na jamaa wa fulani hapo hivyo wanaitwa Tondela rather. Waliwatandika I think 2-0.
That's a European Cup.
Yes. Hiyo sasa iko kule Porto kule Portugal.
Na hii Arsenal ilikuwa ni Arsenal na Man City.
Yes, hiyo ni English Premier League. Yes.
Okay.
Hiyo ni inaitwa English Premier League.
Okay.
Akina Porto wanacheza ligi inaitwa Liga Portugal.
Okay. Because La Liga ni ya nchi gani?
La Liga hiyo ni country ambayo inajulikana kama Spain.
Spania.
Serie A ni
Italy.
Yes.
Right. Now Bundesliga
kuna mbili. Bundesliga ni ya Germany na kuna Bundesliga ya Austria.
Lugha ni moja.
But watu wanaongea Kijerumani.
Nimekusikia.
Naam. Umeona sasa?
Niko na wewe tuko pamoja.
So jana wamecheza vizuri sana. Tunawatakia kila la heri. Those were as far as the European matches are concerned. Leo, like I've told you, it's 20th April, yeah? So this is what is significant. Salamu zifikia tu wa Chelsea kidogo walichapwa na Manchester United. It was a very sad state of affairs. But the game was on Saturday. Walioneshwa kivumbi. Alafu guess walioneshwa hiyo vumbi wapi? Wow. Poleni watu wa Chelsea, poleni sana. Acha niseme pole. Unajua wasi wanakuanga wengi sana, ndio watu wa nduthi huku. Naweza ongea mbaya, watu wa nduthi wanifanyie kitu.
So those who subscribe to the business of motorbikes, how do you arrive at this understanding that
many of them subscribe to Chelsea and Manchester and Arsenal, but majority of the nduthis I see is nakuangaza Chelsea. 20th April 2026, lakini this is what happened in history, eh?
In history?
Yes.
Right.
In 1945, Soviet troops began their major assault on Berlin during World War II. 1945, Soviet troops waliingia kule mbaya Berlin, wakafanya mambo yao, walitandika ile mbogi. And of course it led to the weakening of the Nazis at the time. And of course, things went the way they did. But here's the funny thing. In 1889, Adolf Hitler was born in Austria on a day like today, April 20th, 1889. Adolf Hitler was born in Austria. There's a movie. Is it a movie or a series? I think it's a series. It had an episode whereby someone went back to the past. All right, so they invented a time machine, went back in time to find Adolf Hitler as a child, and then they did what? They killed the child that was Adolf Hitler, and then a couple of years later, an Adolf Hitler actually emerged. Then they found out that when they went back in time, when they went back in time to kill Adolf, they found out that they had killed who? His twin. Yeah.
Alikuwa twin.
Yes. Now this is of course fiction, but they were just trying to the movie or series was trying to depict that you can't really change the past. By changing the past, you really can't change the future. So the only thing you can change is the future. That was the moral story of the show. They were trying to see this guy went back to the past thinking that he was going to kill Adolf Hitler as a child, only for him to end up killing his twin.
In the movie?
In the movie.
Is it back to the future?
No.
Am I in time travel?
I'm forgetting the name of the program.
Sawa.
But I was just trying to connect it to this.
These are people who took a little literary license.
Yes.
In trying to give us scenarios of what might have been. Sawa.
Walikuwa nasema bro, you can't change the past. The only thing you can do is change the future by affecting the present.
There are those who disagree with him, but sawa pia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a random question before you give us
Ask me a random question,
your
please.
proverb.
Yes, please.
If you were to go back in time today, if you had the ability to go back in time today, would you go back and change anything?
Nope.
You just let it be as it is.
You know why?
Yeah.
It is fanciful thinking, and in my opinion, a waste of time and energy.
Right.
When you're alive and well, you may not change what happened in the past.
Right.
But it's something called a makeover. You can do a lot that would signify or signal that you learned from the mistakes of the past.
Right.
And that perhaps would be a far better way of spending your time. And you would achieve more. And you do, if it's good you're seeking to do, you'd do a lot more good.
So you wouldn't want to go back in time and save a loved one who probably passed away, probably undo something really bad that you did.
No. The past and all the things that happened which are painful are the things that I draw strength from and I learn from.
They are what make you
yes. So if I can take what it is that was in the past that I consider to be which caused particular pain, then that is the energy that I need to use to charge a future and to do that thing which you're saying how to change.
Yes.
That is a thing I can do better in.
Yes.
Now.
Right now.
And the influence that I could have exerted or I could have brought about in the past, I can bring about now. My friend, knowledge that comes with time and experience.
Yes.
What we refer to as our lived experience. When you exercise it and it is what directs your actions, the actions will be powerful and very far-reaching.
Okay.
Yes, so I would not wish to go into the past.
All right. Sawa. I would actually want to go to the past. A couple of things. Actually, I have a list of 10 things in case it ever happens. In case an angel shows up and they're like, Mbuvi, what would you like to change in your past?
They don't pull those stunts.
I know. I'm just saying.
Wow,
this is me being...
Hiyo kazi unasema inafanywa.
City.
Lakini itafanywa na time machine.
City. See what I mean? Niseme kinataka kusema.
Please go on.
If that angel shows up today and they're like, my friend, you have this chance to go back in the past. What is that one thing you'd like to change? My bro, I have got a list of about 10 things.
Right.
But like this one for sure.
Right.
Huyu mtu zai kupatana huyu kai makosa. Hapa kuna pesa nilipeana sikufaa kupeana. Na hapa kuna opportunity ya pesa nilipoteza. Hii kwanza hii sana hii nataka.
Good for you.
Yeah. Of course there are some people who died I would like to bring back to life, but that's that. All right. Give us your methali for today.
We are in the Republic of Rwanda. The thing about Rwanda, the thing that makes it unique,
right,
is one, it is landlocked. Okay. This government is what you call a unitary presidential system. Okay.
Right.
Now, one of the unique things, among the unique things that about Rwanda is, it is a car-free day.
Where nobody is allowed to drive.
Upeleki gari bro. Hiyo siku, okay? And it is one of the leading countries in gender equality. And is also one of the cleanest countries in the world.
Hapo kwa no car day. So someone who lives really far away, and they'd like to come to work.
It's not a 24-hour thing. Yes.
Okay. Because I'm imagining, for example, where I live and I need to be here very early in the morning. How do I get here?
Piki.
What if it's raining, city? Do they have that like every week? Is it every month or is it 1 year, 1 day of the year?
Once a month, man.
Once a month, eh?
Yes.
What about if it? What if it's raining?
Each month.
Yeah.
It rains. That is the 1 day in the month when it rains. You have other 29 more days if we take a month to be 30 days.
Yeah. I really like. I think it's a good idea for sure. I'm sure. You know, Rwanda is a very small country, so maybe for them it makes sense.
No. It makes a lot of sense for many people if you think about it. Okay, it's a day you pause. Is it every month or is it every day when people go out to actually clean their estates? Mnaenda ku clean estate.
Right.
Kila mtu anatoka. Na mtu wa kwanza kutoka katika estate yake ni president. Na vifaa vya kusafisha, meaning you think it's the cleanest by accident. It's by intent.
President anatoka na ufagio na kila kitu.
Anatoka pia yeye pia anashughulikia area yake.
You're talking about President Kagame, right?
Yes, his first name is Paul. Yes, that one.
Pablo,
yes.
My namesake.
Your namesake. That is the person I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's look, the things that we say about Rwanda are intentional. Right? It is the second most densely populated country in Africa after Mauritius.
Right.
But there's something I want to talk about with regards to Mauritius. I mean to Rwanda. Every once in a while, we talk about the 7th April to the 19th of July 1994. That was the span of 100 days in which the atrocities were committed. And people refer to it as the Rwandan genocide. Now that with time, we have come to understand exactly the incorrect way of referring to that genocide. What it should be referred to, is the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. It wasn't spontaneous. It was planned by extremists within governments. In the process of targeting the Tutsis, those who were Hutus and were referred to as moderates were also killed. The target was the Tutsis. Okay.
But some Hutus died.
Oh, they died. They died because they were considered moderates. The extremists by their very nature do not accommodate moderates. Anyone who's in between is being logical and saying, guys, but these are people, why are you killing them? Dead. Yes. There's a group called the Twa, small community. They are also brought into the conversation. If indeed those who were killed among them were sympathizers, but the target group were the Tutsis. And this is something that must be stated. Because if you generalize it, you say the genocide of Hutus, Tutsis, and Twas, or you call the Rwandan genocide, you are generalizing and minimizing the reality of what actually happened on that particular day.
Okay.
So it is important that we confirm this. Okay. Now, international courts confirm this. Okay. The case in point that is often referred to is the prosecutor versus Jean-Paul Akayesu. Okay. Now, this is the court, the International Court, ICTR, of Truth, the International Court of Truth and
Reconciliation and Justice.
Yes. You see, you have to find some of the positions you take from legal rulings, jurisprudence, and that is what they ruled. They said this thing was not spontaneous, as some people claim. It was planned, which brings me back to our country. What was started off as tribal clashes,
yes,
and which in the year 2008 was now referred to as something else. The others said it was spontaneous nonsense. That thing was it was planned and deliberately executed. There was nothing spontaneous about it. No.
Okay.
By the time close to 2,000 Kenyans die.
Yeah. Imepangwa.
That thing it was pangwa. And then there was retaliation. But ilikuwa imepangwa.
Okay.
We need to remember these things so that we understand the signs exist. When it began, what spurred it on, then what sparked this particular event.
Yeah.
The spark is not what caused it. The spark is what gave it energy to proceed. Right.
All right.
Can I now mention the proverb?
Yes, you can mention the proverb, City.
Yes, even a crackling hen was an egg once.
Huh? At even now? A crackling hen. Ili nafanya
Is it crackling or is it cackling?
that one. I thought it was kukuling, kukudoodling. Anyway, that one. The point.
It's almost unguni, bro.
The point is, it was an egg once. Yeah. You're right, because everything has got a beginning. Even the mighty and the strong one have got once. At one point, were very fragile and they were very vulnerable.
Kila mtu alikuwa baby. And kila mtu alikuwa toto.
Kwanga vulnerable.
Yep.
Hata watu tunaonanga in the streets of Nairobi wakiweka watu ngeta, wakidunga watu visu, wakitandika watu. Hata wale wale guns tunaonanga wakitandika mheshimiwa Sotsi na wale wengine kama
watu hao.
Wote at one point they were very fragile and very vulnerable.
Kuna mama moja alichekesha siku moja kwa matanga. There's a gentleman who alikuja kama akohoi kweli. And every time he tried to walk straight, fell and that drained a little bit.
Yeah.
So her comment was, hey, jamani si wanawake tuko na shida kweli. Tu ni bwana ya mtu.
Wow. I like that proverb.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we do have a couple of folks I want to give a shout out before we read what's on radiogeneration.co.ke. Kuna Biwot Boaz amesema, good morning City and Movie. I wish all RG fans a blessed week. Tuned in from Nandi. Aswan Omondi amesema from Nakuru County, good morning City Muga and Movie, wishing you a blessed day and week ahead. You too, as well as Biwot. Proper Chelsea TV. Ameuliza ati nini? Question mark pale. Yeah, uni jamaa wa Chelsea, because even his profile picture or her profile picture, I wouldn't know, is a Chelsea logo. So, huyu ni Chelsea damu. Elena Tenya amesema, good morning City and Movie. Thank you for your good job you do every morning. I always tune in from Masai Mara every morning. Love you guys. Elena, salimia watu wote wa Masai Mara, including all the animals. I was at Masai Mara a couple of months ago and I had a very good stay there. Nice place. We should go there, City.
Which part of the Masai Mara were you in?
I went to, well, the place I was staying in was Fairmont, the hotel, but I don't know whether, because you know Masai Mara has got different conservancies. I really can't remember the specific conservancy that I was in, but ilikuanga hapo.
Fairmont ni
iko place fiti sana, na niliambua just across the river Mali, President Uhuru Kenyatta at the time pia alikuwa na chill hapo. Tukauliza kama tutakwenda kumtembelea, tukasema hapana, sema kuja kutulia, acha katulie. Haya, Douglas Kibogong ameandika message na akadelete. Alafu kuna Marit amesema, good morning kings and queens, let's go and conquer. Yes indeed. Kitengela iko locked. Then Douglas sasa ameandika message yenye hada delete, amesema, good morning City and Movie. Here in Australia we are staring at fuel rationing or working from home. Yeah, if only that were possible here.
Of course it's possible.
So you go work from home then, City? We see.
He is not in our line of work, is he?
Hesbon Sidon anasema, good morning City and Movie. I want to remain positive today. Sha is working. Haya, sawa Hesbon, twende kazi. Job Caller, good morning my good people. Senior City, what a story from you I saw somewhere. Elimu kwa mizizi yetu. Alright. Alex Gioko amesema, good morning RG, Kitale iko fine. Yes indeed, Kitale iko fine. Pia sisi hapa Nairobi tuko finest. Our first story is on CS Kipchumba Murkomen. This is a story by Samuel Otieno, written some 20 minutes ago. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has sounded a firm warning to political leaders allegedly fueling violence by recruiting criminal gangs, saying the government will escalate a nationwide crackdown on those behind insecurity. Speaking in Karen during an Africa Gospel Church service on Sunday attended by President William Ruto, Murkomen said Kenya remains generally stable despite sporadic cases of political violence and organized crime. There's something I had former DP Rigathi Gachagua saying. He was asking Gen Zs, this was over the weekend, he was asking Gen Zs to rally up and help him, remove President Ruto out of office. But if you watch that clip, You know, someone will actually think he's inciting people to go to the streets.
And what was he doing?
I think he was asking them to like line up next year, vote for any other government other than one that is led by President Ruto.
Why didn't he say exactly what you've just said?
But the way it came out,
then how can somebody be faulted for interpreting it in the way you interpreted it
alisema watoto wangu Gen Z munisaidie tusaidiane tafadhali tutoe Kasongo. Then when he was saying it, I was actually telling myself, for someone who doesn't apply their brain, they'll actually think that this guy is telling you, he's telling Gen Zs to literally get out of their seats or offices or places of work, march to State House and literally,
but an utterance like that,
eject the president.
Can you fault someone who interprets it in the way you've just stated?
No, I cannot.
Yes, because if you wish to say something, why aren't you deliberate and why don't you say what you want to say?
Siti ilikuanga mi nilisikiza hiyo alafu, and then he went on and it was a very long excerpt.
I'll say this.
You'll say what?
I will say that the push that seems to be preferred by those who refer to themselves as United Opposition, whose clarion call and mantra seems to be remove President Ruto. It's not dangerous in the utterance. It's dangerous in its formation. Because how on earth do people who do not have an iota of direction as to what the government they want to lead will look like, that the only thing that they focus on is the removal of the incumbent? I honestly do not see a future in that particular way of looking at things. And every time it is asked, it is brushed aside. Every time it is asked, it is brushed aside. And yet, the whole idea behind politics is the division of spoils within a secure environment. That's what politicians do. They determine. The writers of our constitution understood this. They said, this, we're going to have a budget-making parliament. What are we doing with the budget? We are divvying up what we have. This is what we have. This will go here. This will go here.
We atapata hii?
Yes.
Yule atapata hili.
Yes. And then when we get micro, that's macro.
Yes.
We have a second tier of government who can get really micro on this one. And so they also have a budget. Then they have a body. They have an assembly that's supposed to do this. Boy, if you listen to what the assemblies, the national, in the county governments do, you will weep. So, Paul.
Yeah.
Why do we even consider the possibility of voting for people who cannot tell you what the government is going to look like?
Yesterday I was listening to Dr. Fred Matiang'i. He was having a conversation with Jeff Koinangai. And there are some things he was saying, that is Matiang'i. There are some things he said and I was like, oh my goodness. Kumbe operating cover is this easy. Why do others make it? No, actually it is. Why do others make it look difficult? And he gave examples of how during his time as CS for education and CS for interior, how he did some things. For example, alikuwa anasema history ya kurelease exam results when it had all this razzmatazz, pomp and color. And the first time he got there, akauliza, guys, how much money are we spending on this? I think he said yesterday it was about 5.5 million. He said, next year, I don't want to see this nonsense. He literally called it nonsense. And it was done. Saved 5.5 million every year going forward and still achieved what he wanted to achieve as far as exam results release is concerned.
Yeah, but the good schools did not come to an end.
Hiyo atajitetea tukipata nafasi ya kumuuliza. Kitu kingine alisema pia akiwa interior alisema kuna wakati walienda some remote place in Kenya, I can't remember where. And the roads ended and they had to proceed on foot. And they went and they found a family whereby the family was reeling from this event whereby one of their girls was raped by a gang, a well-known gang. And he was like, he called the security chiefs there from the chief all the way to the county commissioner and he asked them, guys, on a serious note, hii ni upuzi gani? Akasema ati unajua mheshimiwa, unajua huku hata ukikuu lazima ukuje chini ya maji. Akasema bro, umevaa kofia ya serikali, and then he called it a crown. Umevaa kirauni ya serikali alafu unasema ati go easy. If you are going easy, kama nyinyi mnajificha chini ya meza, what are you expecting the citizens to do? And he said from that day henceforth, hiyo story, the gang was dealt with and the security in that area improved. And I was like, What is so difficult about some of these things that we face on a daily being handled in a similar way? For example, he also mentioned maneno ya mafuta, and he said, look guys, you know who did what. Like, you know, nothing happens in a bubble. You know the guys who did that thing, and you know where the fuel went to. Why are we dilly-dallying and just hiding behind who did what? Nani ni mdoswa nani, rafiki ya nani? Get the folks, line them in court, let them be prosecuted, case closed, we move forward. No one else will do such nonsense again.
On that I agree with him, but with hindsight, everybody is smart.
True story.
You see, the Razzmatazz bet, 5 million.
Imagine, for exam results release.
Right.
Yes.
And the time when he was Minister for Education, what was the budget? 400 billion?
For releasing results?
No.
Oh, for education budget. For education, okay.
That indeed was a saving. How many ghost schools do we have, and how much money do we lose to these ghost schools? That to me is a bigger thing. Okay? You cannot ask me to elect you or to even consider electing you as president.
Yeah.
Simply because you will tell me I straightened out the education system. I'll tell you that was your job. And we thank you for doing a good job. This is the person who actually brought about the issue of these buses being yellow. You've heard me say this before.
Oh, yes.
We thank you. Because that is something we can count. But when it comes to the issues of the interior, there are very many issues that we speak of from time to time.
He even addressed the River Yala issue. How did he
address it exactly?
Well, he said, guys, if I've done anything wrong, kindly, please, by any means, if anyone has got evidence, I am a civilian right now. I have no power over the court. If you think I have any, go, take me to court. Let's deal with this. He actually said, I have asked the president to do, he called it what, a public inquiry or inquest? Something public of the sort. Inquest. Yeah, he said, sisi wote tujianike. Mimi kama former interior CS, mwenye mnasema niliua watu nikawarusha kwa River Yala, niiteni. Na wale wengine wote wenye mna suspect tukuje.
He didn't kill anybody. That's the whole point. Okay?
But he presided over?
No, people died under his watch. Look, he is the same person who was Minister for Interior when one Mr. Miguna
was deported. He actually addressed it as well. No, wait, he didn't address it. He just said that it is one of those questions that come up, and he said it's a choir. Oh, Miguna this, oh, Yala this, many other things.
The court in Kajiado made a pronouncement. The government proceeded to ignore it. We are a country that allows for dual citizenship. The point is this. He has the advantage of knowledge and information on each of these subjects that is being asked. As an office bearer, you know a lot more than the citizenry.
For sure.
And there's a lot that could be said. Okay? So long as there is a cloud and you push it to the courts and you do not address it, in the court of public opinion, you are guilty. If you are associated with a thief, you are considered to be a thief. If somebody sells you stolen goods, the case against you is harsher than the person who stole, because you are an enabler. What am I saying? I am saying that when you seek to be one of the office holders of the highest office in the land,
the scrutiny.
If the scrutiny is all good and well, but if I cannot personally feel that you have addressed the issues that are being brought to you directly, then as far as I'm concerned, you're not fit for that office.
Hizo vitu aliaddress nilizisikiza, nikasema sawa, lakini ile sikuelewa kabisa. Maybe alisema before nianze kuwatch your news, ama alisema after juicy kuwatch your time at one point I had to go and sleep. Ile ningependa atu explain vizuri niyo ya Miguna. Hiyo nao niko na maswali 122. Na nikipata nafasi nitamuuliza. Atueleze what is
this seeking the highest office in the land must be made, the very process must be such that anybody who seeks to be the president or leader in this land will know that the scrutiny that you're going to go through, you'd better have determined your onions from your leeks. You need to know.
Aye. Let's do this thing called traffic. Let's inform the citizens which roads are passable and the ones impassable.
Traffic.
Speaking of which, I'm looking at Ngong Road. Ngong Road is looking good. When is today? Today is 20th, eh? Watu wajatoka na magari, eh? bado pesa ya mafuta haipatikani.
Kweli.
Are we still a walking nation? But I'm also reminded that schools are currently on recess, so yeah, we're gonna see some clean streets for a while. Naona Gitanga Road iko fiti, kuna Dennis Pitt Road iko sawa kabisa, Agwings Kotheki iko poa, Valley Road processional way, watu wanaoenda State House mko fiti kabisa, mkitumia Haile Selassie iko poa. I'm looking at Landis Road though. What's happening there? It's jam packed. Watu wanaotoka Kamukunji, nyinyi wote mnaotoka pia Haile Selassie mmeamua kwenda kupitia Landis ama ni watu wa Landis wanaenda huko kwingine kote? I don't know, but yeah, it's bumper to bumper right now. Funny enough, the joining road of Jogoo Road is actually very clean, so that means that you guys are moving quite well. Manyanja Road kule watu wa Umoja mko fiti sana. Umoja inako as well. Kweni hamjamka? I thought watu wa Eastlands ndio wanajenga nchi letu la Kenya. Yeah, these roads are too clear. Is it a public? No, it's not. Why are the roads clear? Anyway, it's looking good. That's as far as Nairobi is concerned. If you see something that I need to know, please let me know. But there's that casual spot, pale Muthaiga. Hiyo barabara iko. Kwanza leo imestretch mpaka Kiambu Road. Ni kumaanisha kama unatoka Kiambu Road, wewe jua sasa njia nyingine utapitia, because hii nayo imekamatana. Sawa. Alafu not Mombasa Road, this is Tukesipa Highway. Ukirudi nyuma all the way to Githurai 45. Huko ndio kuna traffic kidogo, lakini hiyo ni juu ya watu wanangojea matatu. Tukirudi nyuma tena kidogo tuende mpaka Kenyatta University, ya barabara iko sawa. Watu wa Eastern Bypass hamuna complaints whatsoever. Zooming out and heading over to Mombasa County. Mombasa County is not looking bad as well. I think Kenya is on holiday, because the roads are actually grey. Kawaida kuwa na magari zinakuanga green. Leo ziko grey. That means that you guys are not moving at all.
It means that schools are not in session. Children are not going to school.
Okay, sawa. Haya, mkiona chochote barabarani nafaa kujua simu. Unajua mtanipata?
Traffic on Radio Generation.
Tuingie kwenye magazeti. Tuangalie. Tuanze na Daily Nation front page. Kenya still hosting Sudan rebel leader. Sudan rebel leader Mohamed Dagalo alias Hemedi and his henchmen in Rapid Support Forces have been sanctioned by the United Nations, United States and the European Union on occasions of war crimes in the 3-year brutal armed conflict with the Sudanese armed forces for control of Sudan. But Kenyan authorities continue to roll out the red carpet for Hemedi, with latest diplomatic briefings revealing a meeting between the rebel leader and a UN official in Nairobi early this month. That's stories on page 4. Inside deadly racket for stolen border borders from northern corridors into Ethiopia and Somalia to western routes leading to Uganda and southern crossings into Tanzania. Stolen motorcycles are moved with speed and precision. So here's a syndicate. Scouts. One group identifies the targets, often riding at night or along isolated routes. Riders are sometimes lured with irresistible fare offers. Then the getaway. Another gang handles transportation of stolen motorcycles, navigating official and unofficial border crossings. The dealers. The third group manages resale of stolen bikes, either after altering the identity of the units or stripping them for spare parts. What? So that story is on page 7. Grade 10 learners unease over career pathways. Principals have decried frequent changes to career pathways by students in senior school, saying the uncertainty is disrupting learning. Yeah, this thing ilifanywa mapema sana. By the Matiang'i alisema this thing is being done badly because the way we took over, when we did it, the execution was good. Sifuna Orengo camp step up pressure on ODM rivals, and this is about the Linda 90 faction of ODM, which took its campaigns to Nakuru, where speakers sustained the onslaught on the broad-based government. As far as entertainment is concerned, riding the wave, Mount Kenya political defiance music from Joseph Kamaru to John DeMathio and the latest sensation Kamande wa Kioi. Mount Kenya musicians often belt out songs in tune with the region's political pulse. This story is on page 2. Medina Okot from Kakamega to WNBA stardom when Medina Okot telephoned her parents to inform them of the forthcoming Women's National Basketball Association draft on April 13th. A quiet anticipation settled over Mundubi village in Kakamega County. Taifa Leo wanasema hivi, nchi jirani si ligi yetu. Rais adai urefu wa barabara za Tanzania, Uganda, DRC, Rwanda na Burundi kwa pamoja hazifikii Kenya iliyostawishwa kilomita 20. Asema mataifa jirani yanaorodheshwa katika kundi la nchi maskini zinazoendelea, huku Kenya ikiwa katika hadhi ya mataifa ya uchumi wa wastani. Hiyo utaipata katika ukurasa wa pili. Rais alisema ya kwamba kuna jirani yetu hapa, barabara zao zote zikishikanishwa zinafika tu 6,000. Actually alisema ni kama alisema wote wakishikanishwa barabara zenye zimekwa tarmac zinafika tu 6,000, na akasema Kenya sisi zetu ni 20,000.
You know the development issue or the development record of the president, the development record of our presidents are never really the issue of our politics. It's a side issue.
Yeah.
The prevailing narrative right now is that Ruto must go, or one term.
Right.
And there are many people who have come to subscribe the mantra, without assessing and asking why one term and why Ruto must go. And then what next? The what next question is not addressed at all.
Yeah.
So even if the president talks about roads that have been built,
he was justifying why we are paying all these levies for fuel for the sake of development of that infrastructure.
I understand. I'm simply saying it is good that he took the time to explain something Opiyo and I should have explained.
Right.
It is good he has explained something that the government spokesman should have explained. But that having been said, that is not the issue.
Can I be honest? I did not trust those statistics.
When you say you don't trust the statistics, Paul,
yes,
you're getting to the heart of the matter.
Yes.
Because what ought to be addressed is the mistrust, where even if something is true, you have a very large population of Kenyans who do not give a hoot, and they also do not believe. So the believability factor is an issue. Now, the other issue that we have is the strong narratives that point directly against the presidency.
Can I give you a fun fact?
And a fun fact as opposed to an unfun fact?
Yeah, the circumference of the earth around the equator. You know, when you start from one point of the equator and then you go around and come back again. That line is 47,500 kilometers.
No, it can't be.
It is. 47,000.
The equator around the earth.
The circumference of the equator is 47,000 and some few kilometers on top.
And do you find the equator all over the world?
It is just the circumference around the equator, because it is just that line across the midsection of the earth. That thing we call equator. Si inatokanga side moja all day inazunguka hivi dunia inarudi tena mali imeanzia.
So you're telling me mviringo wa dunia mzima ni 47,000 kilometers?
Naam. Tukienda hivyo round alisema mimi nakwambia hii unaweza verify ni 47,000 kilometers. So ndio maana nasema, and I could be wrong and I want to be proven wrong by the way as far as this 20,000 kilometers is concerned.
Mimi hesabu sielewi, but endelea tu.
Mimi ndio nasema ningependa kutolewa lawama ama ni makosa ama kukorektiwa. So nikiambua hii barabara ya Kenya ni 20,000 kidogo niko na maswali, but anyway si tutaambiwa facts na mwenye atatuambia facts. Mbinu mpya za kuiba bodaboda tumezitaja pale katika gazeti letu la Nation. Waweza kuangalia pale ukurasa wa 3. Wanasema mbinu mpya hizo za kuiba, kuna watu ambao wanalua the people, wanawakamata, wengine wanachukua pikipiki zenyewe, wengine wanazipeleka, wengine wanaenda wanauza parts ama wanauza zikiwa mpya ama zikiwa full.
That's in the Nation.
That is according to the Nation. Now that story has been echoed on the Taifa Leo. Manchester United wazidi kupaa na Spurs miti ikiwateleza. Spurs, Tottenham Spurs waliona kivumbi, my friend, walitandikwa. Red Devils wakalia nafasi ya 3 sawasawa, huku Tottenham wakiliona shoka kali. Hii yasoma katika ukurasa wa 20. Linda Mwananchi wawapa Linda Ground masharti. Kikosi cha Sifuna chaambia kundi la Oburu kuwa lazima linyenyekee iwapo linataka warudiane. Hiyo katika ukurasa wa 2. So Sifuna ameambia watu akina Oburu that folks, if you want us to come together again, you have got to be friendly. There are some things.
I see. So
lazima munyenyekee ndio turudiane.
We were not wrong, were we?
We were not wrong.
We were not wrong. We were not wrong at all.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw this.
They might be coming together, and guess what? We still have a long way to go before we get to the elections. A lot can happen. ODM can come back together. They can split from UDA and, say to hell with this broad-based arrangement, or they can come together and Sifuna.
They're already heading in that direction. Remember
Exactly.
when Oburu said, we have ceased to have these talks about the United XYZ, and what we are focusing on is our own internal unity. He told us. If Sifuna goes to Nakuru, whatever he was, and says the same thing, then I have to pay attention to what they're saying.
Yeah.
I suspect that they're behind the scenes discussions that have taken place, and they've looked at the way ahead, and they've said, guys, we can do this thing. Huh?
Yeah.
We actually don't need UDA.
Yeah. I heard yesterday Dr. Oburu saying that he's for this zoning thing, and of course he said that even he will subject himself to scrutiny, and people will choose, and if they don't want him, then if I were him, I'll probably say, as a party leader, now don't run for elections. But that's just me. You've gotten to a point whereby you don't need to run for elections
Ask yourself
anymore.
one simple question, Paul. What is it that drives our politics? Is it ideas?
Yeah.
Is it policies and principles? What is it? When you talk about politicians and the positions that they keep asking for and the coalitions that they keep having, what is it all about? It's about what they can get.
Yeah.
Not what the people who support the party can get. No. We fill in the blanks for ourselves, and we assume that if the people who purport to lead these political parties get what they want, then we will benefit. And again I say,
And I support you on the so that is the daily. One more. DCP Jubilee kupambana katika uchaguzi Ol-Kalou. Chama cha Gachagua chasema mara hii hakitaachia mtu kilivyo fanya kule mbele. Ukurasa wa 4. Sonko waponyoka kotini na shilingi milioni 537, that is 537 million zake. Gavana wa zamani wa Nairobi alizuiliwa kutoa pesa hizo mnamo 2020 kwa tuhuma za ulanguzi wa pesa. And now the court has awarded him his money back.
Ulanguzi wa pesa ni money laundering.
Money laundering. Ndio hiyo sasa.
Sasa ninachouliza. Was he being paid interest on this money?
I don't know. Are you asking if he will be paid interest?
Well, the money was sitting there for the last 6 years.
But we are assuming it was somewhere in a vault, not in a bank, collecting interest. The bank or SACCO was...
It was in the bank, and the bank is called Equity.
All right.
Yes.
Was the bank transacting with his money? Because if they were transacting with his money, then yes, they need to pay him.
The money was in the bank. Now it's a question of actually what sort of account that he had.
Hold on. Let's even assume it was just a normal account that you and I can hold. That is not a savings. Maybe it's a savings, I don't know. But if the bank was transacting with his money, then yes, he needs to be paid interest on that money.
What I don't know about, he was not allowed to withdraw it.
So it was a frozen account?
Yes. But then, does it? No. My question, does it mean he could not instruct the bank, put that money of mine in a fixed deposit? He wasn't withdrawing it. Yes. Or was he prevented from transacting completely? He could not do anything with the money.
I think the latter. But it's a good question. We can ask a legal expert on a lawyer.
Yeah,
when
money is frozen, what does it mean?
Does it mean that hiyo pesa haiwezi tumika, bank haiwezi transact nayo, bank haiwezi declare kwa balance sheets zake, and so on and so forth?
Ama hiyo ni pesa vile ulisema ni taslim, and then imewekwa kwa kula. So imekuwa frozen.
Standard front page, back to the streets. Sasa hapa ndio kuna Kiswahili mkuti.
What for?
Opposition leaders And Gen Z activists are set to take to the streets tomorrow over fuel prices. The rising cost of living and governance concerns backed by the Linda Mwananchi movement. The mobilization comes after Siaya Governor James Orengo called for intensified action and said it was time to send Ruto home by force, further fueling political tensions and piling pressure on the government. Guys, we are 1 year to the election. We are 1 year to the elections. City, what are your thoughts?
I hear demonstrations and I cringe.
Me three.
I cringe. Because is it that we are bereft of ideas that we can sell to the public, or we are bereft of ideas with which we can challenge the government, so that we think that the pressure we need to apply needs to come from a demonstration? And we know how demonstrations go. Do you hear of old men who die in demonstrations? Yes, there are some. I was reading an article by Komchetsi, and he was talking about an old man in Kisii who had walked some 3 kilometers for a rally. And when people were rushing to queue, the stampede that people were queuing to go and collect money, the man was actually trampled by the people who were going to collect money.
The 200 bob.
Yes. Is this the time for demonstrations? I have to ask because I really want to understand what are they demonstrating about and what do they hope to achieve? Because a demonstration is not just a demonstration because it's a demonstration.
Yes, kuna kitu mnatafuta.
Yes, so the clarity that I need to hear is what it is that we're pursuing with this demonstration, but also what we hope to achieve.
Kama ile ya Gen Z ya 2024 walikuwa wanasema to hell with the finance bill.
That one,
finance
clear.
Bill ikatupiliwa mbali.
Clear.
As much as walirudi nao wakaendelea kuimplement. Haya.
Sufuria
revolution ilikuanga bei ya ugali.
Yes.
Serikali ikasoti hiyo.
Tulielewa hiyo. Na yao kina
hii wanasema toa president kwenye kiti chake kwa lazima. Hiyo kidogo
mimi sikubaliani nao. Kama ndio hiyo sikubaliani nao. Unajua kwa nini bro? Every time we speak of the presidency of William Ruto, which has demonstrated more mistakes, more failed promises than we've ever actually witnessed in the history of this country, we assume that the other presidents didn't make mistakes which were equally colossal. This particular presidency is in the limelight of the 21st century. And my friend, we have access to information in ways we've never had access to it. We know things we would ordinarily never have known or heard of. Because of this, we can challenge things in ways we could never challenge. But there are those who want the presidency not by telling us what it is they want to do for us, but by telling us that we must remove this particular presidency first. And I disagree with those people completely. I do not believe that telling me that this person should go is what should make me vote for you. No. You have to tell us what you want to do for the country, for the people of Kenya, so that you can be considered a viable candidate.
Okay, me, I would like them to break it down for me and just explain to us, number one, how they will achieve this removal of the president. And then number two, what next? So let's even assume the president tomorrow says, okay, guys, you know what? I won't even wait for you to start demonstrating. I'm out. What next?
Paul. The lot of individuals.
Who in the opposition, and by the way, on a serious note, who in the opposition, if today the president were to step down, what will happen next? Hata wamejipanga.
Paul, if you look at all the people who claim to be in the opposition and say they want to be president, the only person who has an agenda you can look at and you can discuss and talk about
is Orwoba.
No.
Okay.
No.
Is Maga...
It's called Maraga.
Maraga. Karibu sema Maganga.
Maraga gets close to it.
Okay, it's Omtata.
Omtata has a good start, but it's not comprehensive, to be honest.
Okay, the last one, Wanjigi.
He does.
He gets he's above all the rest.
Look, he tells you part of the problems that we have and paints a clear picture so you understand what the problem is. The other men and women in the united opposition can't even articulate what our problems are. Their problem is Ruto. Ruto is not the problem, for heaven's sake.
Well, they believe he is.
No, they want us to believe wholeheartedly that the only problem we have in the country is Ruto. It is not. Ruto is not the governor of the 47 counties we have in Kenya. Ruto is not the cabinet secretary for every ministry that we have.
But he has appointed them.
My friend, there are people who are determined to push a certain narrative. One of the narratives that I was thinking of over the weekend was President Ruto doesn't listen to anybody. And I was thinking, is it really possible to stay in the presidency with all the pressure somebody has if you don't listen to people?
If I were the president, there's some CSs that people have complained properly about. Even Parliament has said hapa kidogo it's a problem. I won't mention the names. I won't mention the names because nasikia Subaru siku hizi kuna mpya zimenunuliwa, sitaki kujua na Subaru. But kuna watu ambao ningalikuwa president ningesema wewe.
But let me ask, do we even ask ourselves what criteria it is that is required for somebody to be a CS? You see,
you have to be the president's friend.
Yes, and I personally do not understand what the problem is, because if somebody else is elected as president, he's going to bring his cronies as well. I mean, that's what people do. So this person's cronism is worse than others. How?
The point is, he shouldn't be doing it to begin with.
No.
It doesn't matter who it is.
No.
If Matiang'i today were to be the president, I'm sure, same questions would be asked. If Kalonzo, same thing. Maraga, same thing. Paul, same thing.
Paul, we're looking at this thing from the wrong angle. If you wanted to attack the president and speak of what it is that he has done which is wrong, it's not the appointing of the CSs. It is the fiddling with the PSs.
Yeah.
And bringing people who've never worked in a government process, have never been in government, and bang, your PS.
Yeah.
That person is going to have a problem. Because that person doesn't even understand how government functions.
Unataka kusoma gazeti zako because tuko na 3 minutes remaining.
3 minutes ni nyingi.
Okay.
Traffic police face 14-day limit for impounded vehicles. Petrol stations risk audits as Ruto orders sparks chaos. World Bank, IMF painful terms back with Iran war. What are we talking about? The fallout between the US-Israeli war on Iran has forced Kenya to revive its dalliance with the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, setting taxpayers up for pain as the country abides by tough conditions to access cheap financing from the pair. Kenya last week indicated that it would require emergency financing from the World Bank, with officials emphasizing the importance of funded IMF programs amid continuing discussions. Unfortunately, when these people fund you, they have this prefect attitude where they must tell you exactly where to jump, how to behave, and what to do. So if you're willing to do that, then yes.
Okay.
96.8 billion was frozen by World Bank after Kenya failed to honor conditions. Those conditions, we told them, no. So, we are back there. Firms in dilemma as top-up tax deadline looms. Large multinational companies operating in Kenya are caught in a compliance dilemma after the state failed to provide subsidiary regulations needed to implement the new global minimum tax law despite a looming April 30th payment deadline. Okay? Kenya still hosting Sudan's rebel leader. This story is false in terms of its headline. If you read what the story is on the inside, this particular gentleman called Hamedi is supposed to have met with the UN official in Nairobi this month. So if he met with is that what is the sum total of us hosting them? Before this guy, Bashir, who was the president before all these problems, was wanted. He was indicted by the ICC.
He even came for an inauguration.
You've understood what I'm saying perfectly. In the times when Idi Amin was president, people like Kagame, in the times when Habyarimana was president of Rwanda, people like the President Paul Kagame and others were in Kenya. So this thing about Kenyans hosting what they refer to as rebel leaders, please look at our history and understand what we've done for the very longest time. Okay? The country of Tanzania, the country of Zambia, when South African and the ANC were fighting the apartheid in their country, most of their leaders were hosted in some of these countries. Yes, in Mozambique, in Tanzania. We hosted Ugandans over the period when they had issues with Obote, when they had issues with Idi Amin. We as Kenya hosting, we talk about Somalia, our neighbors. how many leaders who are leaders of the Somali government and those who are in the opposition of Somali do we host in this country?
Okay.
So, and how many people who have run from that country live in our country, whether they're from Eritrea, whether from Ethiopia? If you want to talk about how it is we host people in this country, please, let's look at the history of how it is we host people in this country and how many people who are rebels. Some were rebels then, some of them are presidents now.
Yeah.
We have benefited immensely from Rwanda because Paul Kagame has spoken on many, many occasions as to how Kenya helped them in their time of need. What do you think we're doing? We're hosting rebels.
True story. Salamu zimfikie MC Tonje as we move on to the next hour. Good morning MC Tonje. Thank you for coming through. The John Guge amesema Matiang'i moved us from analog to digital TV, painted school buses yellow. It was during Matiang'i's time that I downloaded admission letter for my daughter to Alliance Girls without knowing anyone. All right. Hata mtu wa saiba huku mjua John Guge? The real AC.
There's a lot Matiang'i did in the Ministry of Education.
True. The real AC mesema Changamwe refinery should be revived. Why did Uhuru shut it down in 2013? Perceptronium amesema mantras. CPA Ray Okello, Earth's circumference is the distance around Earth measured around the equator. It is 40,075 kilometers, roughly 24,901 miles. Alandos amesema good morning people. In East and Central Africa, we all know that Kenya is the first among equals and has been for the longest time. What's new? Hesbon Sidon, wapi traffic ya Kisumu yawa? Hesbon usijali, mimi tambia wewe. When money is frozen, no transaction including investing as fixed deposits is permissible. Tom Omugo, demos on cost of living. Alafu Tom Omugo mesema sisi ni watu wa two term. Any Kenyan 35 years and above can be president. Tom Omugo. I mean sisi ni watu wa two term. Na hapo ndipo tutastop tuseme ndio hii taarifa na Winnie Maganga.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. A 43-year-old man is under police guard in hospital after allegedly attacking his 3 young children in Ikolomani, Kakamega County. The suspect, identified as Nathan Shimenga, is reported to have killed his daughter during the incident, which followed a domestic dispute with his wife, who had left their home. Police say he later took the children to a riverside where the attack happened. 2 4-year-old twins survived and are in critical condition at Kakamega County Referral Hospital.
Akaanza kushika mimi mkono hivi zote mbili. Kumbe anatoa panga, akaanza kunikatakata panga. Nikamwambia nimekukosea nini? Akasema nyamaza. Alinipiga kabisa paka akaniumiza hapa.
Amekata dada yangu, akakata nguruwe, baada ya nguruwe akalala usiku, ameamkia leo asubuhi, amechukua watoto wake 3, ameenda kuwapeleka mahali na amewakatakata wote 3. Sasa mimi nina huzuni, naomba serikali tusaidie. Sasa wakati tumempata na watoto, kama amepanga watoto line, watoto walikuwa 3. Amepanga watoto line na ameshika panga nyuma. Sasa wakati tumefika hapo, akatuambia mlikuwa mnatafuta mimi, na ndiye amechukua panga na kuanza kukata watoto. Akakata mtoto wa kwanza akakufa hapo na hapo, wa pili akaanguka chini, wa tatu akaanguka chini.
President William Ruto has criticized comparison between Kenya's fuel prices and those of neighboring countries. He explained that fuel is more expensive in Kenya because it is a middle-income economy, unlike some of its neighbors, which are classified as least development countries. Ruto added that this economy difference plays a big role in how fuel is priced, even though many of those countries still rely on fuel imported through the port of Mombasa.
Why is it that sometimes prices of fuel are different in Kenya from our neighbors? And sometimes maybe it's good to let them know because it's important for people to know. 3 things. Number 1, Kenya is a middle-income country. Our neighbors are least development countries. There's a big difference. If you want to compare Kenya fairly with others, compare Kenya with other middle-income countries. That is how you will get the figures right.
Jubilee Deputy Party Leader Fred Matiang'i has pledged to tackle goonism in the country if elected president. Speaking on Citizen TV, Matiang'i said firm leadership will bring an end to the vice, arguing that criminal gangs thrive due to weaknesses in governance. He maintained that with a no-nonsense approach and proper understanding of the country's system, such groups would have no space to operate.
If a firm, no-nonsense manager, like me is president, there will be no goons. Where will they operate? Where will they operate? I mean, let me ask you, and how will they operate? Because I understand the structure of our country. Yeah. We, from Nyumba Kumi, to village elders, to assistant chiefs, to chiefs, all the way to sub-county officials. We have a sub-county security team led by the deputy county commissioner. You come to the county commissioner. You know, Jeff, the hierarchy, the structure of security in this country is the most regimented.
The U.S. has intercepted an Iranian-flagged cargo ship in the Gulf as part of its naval blockade, Donald Trump has said. The U.S. president wrote on his Truth social platform that the Tosca was seized by the U.S. Navy after failing to respond to a warning to stop. Iran has not yet commented on the incident. The announcement came after the White House confirmed U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance will lead another delegation for a second round of talks on ending the war with Iran in Pakistan. And that's the Truth on Radio Generation. Good morning. I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast, your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
A very good morning to you and welcome back. This is Radio Generation. The time right now is 8 minutes past 7 o'clock. My name is Mungala Mbuvi and I'm with City Muga in the studio. City, I'm glad that homa yako imeisha. Now, you're breathing quite well. Kila kitu iko sawa kabisa.
Thank you, Paul. Yes.
Sasa hiyo ni kumaanisha ya kwamba that for the next couple of days as you regain your breathing very well, uanze jogging pia.
Kwa breathing ilikuwa imeenda wapi?
Mimi nakwambia.
So regain it.
Si mimi nakwambia. Muda hapo ulikuwa unaenda. Tulikuwa tunakuwa na ukituacha tu. In this particular hour, we want to talk about the impact of fuel crisis on air travel and the rising demand for domestic flights. And in studio, we do have the head of scheduled services at Fly 748, that is Mr. George Odur. George, a very good morning to you and welcome to Radio Generation.
Thanks so much.
Is it Fly 748 or it's 748? How do people usually say it?
It is Fly 748.
So I said it correctly.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Okay, thank you.
Before we get deeper into our conversation, City would like to share a proverb with you.
Okay.
It's from the country of Rwanda. Is it, City?
Yes, it's from the Republic
Why
of
don't
Rwanda.
you share with Mr. George and then he tells us what he thinks about it?
Yes. Even a cackling hen was once an egg.
Even a cackling hen was once an egg.
Yes.
You see, you have to start somewhere, and I think everything has the foundation. So for you to be for that egg, for that egg really to hatch. For the hen to hatch, you see, you really have to take your time. So like for us, for Flight 748, yes, we are happy to be back. So we suspended the domestic flights in 2023, but now we are back and in full swing for the long haul.
Right.
Yes.
I told you, daktari anafikiria kama daktari, watu wa ndege watafikiria kama watu wa ndege. Speaking of which, mulikuwa mmepotelea wapi George? You guys mulikuja mkatubamba, you had some very nice offers for us.
Yes.
Back in the day before you disappeared, but now you're back. Mulikuwa mmejificha wapi?
No, we have been around. Just for your information,
yes.
748 Air Services has been around for 31 years now, and in 2023 we just took a strategic decision. We only suspended the flights, the domestic flights, but we have been around, and we have a presence in over 8 countries in Africa. We are in Somalia, Mogadishu. We operate in Juba. We operate in Niger. We have a presence in Uganda, Central African Republic, here in Kenya,
right,
and DRC. So we have been around. That was just a strategic decision to concentrate on the core business,
right,
which is really humanitarian aviation. But now we are here for the long haul, and yes.
And speaking of which, for those, was it 2 years or 3 years that you have been away? You come back, mkapatana mafuta mepanda.
Yes.
Had you anticipated this kind of scenario?
Yeah, you see, for us, we have been planning for this comeback, and it's just unfortunate,
right,
that we are coming in when there are several issues,
right,
of fuel crisis, but we'll be able to skirt around it and give the best to our customers and the passengers, yes, who are really looking forward to joining us on 1st of May for the inaugural flights from Nairobi to Mombasa and Nairobi to Kunda. So it's really exciting, and we are looking forward to this day.
And I saw you guys have this amazing offer. I don't know if it will start on the 1st of May or it will come later. You're offering flights at 6,500 to Kunda.
Yes, yes.
Nyinyi watu wa Mtambi mafuta ama mlikuwa na reserve yenu kando mahali?
No, what happens, Flight 748 really has a strategy, and for us, there's a team, there's a core clientele that we are targeting,
right?
And the starting cost is 6,500, but then this is for the early comer. So if you book early with us, then you will be able to get the best pricing structure. Yes.
Oh, so that is for the early birds.
Yes, yes. This is for the early birds, and we are telling all the listeners,
right,
all the travelers, please book. Go to fly748.com and book with us.
Do you have a flight going to Kisumu for that price? And I'm asking for my co-host who likes traveling towards that direction a lot. I think it's because he comes from there.
Yeah, for now, we'll be starting with Nairobi, Mombasa, and then Nairobi, Ukunda. But as we progress, as the year progresses, we'll look into demand for that, and then definitely we'll avail the aircraft for that route.
City, why are you laughing? Nakutetea. Sasa itabidi umepanda ndege uende Ukunda na utaki kwenda Ukunda. I'm sure you want to go to this other direction.
That route that you speak of.
Yes.
Is an extremely profitable route.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Duar.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about 748.
Yes.
When it started.
Yes.
What the thinking was.
Yes.
The services that you've provided in these 30 years.
Yes.
And how it is you managed to be in all the countries that you've mentioned.
Yeah. Thanks so much, City. So 748 Air Services started 31 years ago. And you can imagine the aircraft that we used at that time was Sidley 748. That is where we started that is where we got our name, and it has grown over the years. So by then, we were operating at the Lokchogyo camp just to support the humanitarian sector. You remember this period, there's a crisis in Sudan.
Yes.
So that's when 748 Air Services launched its first flights, but this was generally to support the humanitarian aviation. So the vision really for us 748 Air Services is to connect humanity, and we are doing this in collaboration with our partners. So we are connecting humanity with flights in support of alleviation of hunger, and really to promote peace. Yes, so that is the mission of 748 Air Services. And like we have said, we started 31 years ago, but with the increasing demand, there are always humanitarian crises over the world. There's war, there are those natural disasters that really call for humanity to support. So 748 Air Services has been available to support in this sector. So when I started this interview, I said that we already have a presence in Mogadishu. We have a presence in Juba, South Sudan. We also support the humanitarian sector in Entebbe. We are also in Niger, the farthest bit, Democratic Republic of Congo. We have around 3 base stations there. We are in Goma. We support Goma operations. We support Kinshasa and Kananga areas. And then we also have a presence in Central African Republic. So you realize that 748 Air Services really has capacity. So in total, we have 17 aircrafts. 6 of them are 78-seater. The other one is Dash 8 100, has a capacity of carrying 36 passengers. And then the last category of our aircraft is Caravan, which carries around 12 passengers. So we have the capacity, the pilots are there, the engineers are there. So what we are doing as Fly 748, we are relying on the proven experience and capacity. So as we get into these domestic flights, we are not starting from zero. We want just to build on the proven experience, the reliability of 748 Air Services. So it is really exciting, and we look forward to the inaugural flights on 1st of May.
What plane are you going to be using for domestic flights?
We'll be using Q400, and this one is a 78-seater aircraft.
Iko na propeller ma iko na ile engine?
Yes, it's a turboprop and has a capacity of carrying 74 to 78 passengers. Yes.
So you'll be competing with the Embraer?
Yes, we will. But for us, you see Dash 8 100, the Q400, this one's connects. It has the versatility. It can fly. We fly in the bush basically, because in DRC those runways are not paved. So for us, we are all seasons, and we are able to fly in all these runways. So the moment we are launching and using the Mombasa, Nairobi, and Ukunda routes, it will be juicier for us because the runways are good. But from our day-to-day operations, we basically fly in the bush, yes.
What is the range of this 78-seater?
Are you going to ignore that whole issue of the bush?
Oh, I'm not ignoring it. There's a reason why.
Yes.
If you are flying from Nairobi to DRC,
yes,
you have given me an indication of the route or of the distance.
Right.
If you're going to Central Africa, you've given me an indication. If you now want to fly to Mombasa, you've given me an indication.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is the range of this plane, because that is not its full capacity.
Yes.
How far can it actually fly? Meaning, can it, for instance, I'm going to ask, fly from Nairobi to Oliver Tambo in Joburg? That's really the question that I'm asking.
Yes, you see, for us, I've told you that we operate as far as Niger. So these aircrafts are positioned all the way from Nairobi to Niger, and we fly them. We can fly even to Madagascar
without a stopover.
No. There are technical stops, but we are able to reach all the destinations. Okay. And for your information, you see, these aircrafts have flown all the way from Europe to here. You see, when they are being delivered, and years back we used to do the engine change and all that. So even in Canada, all these aircrafts can fly all over the world. Yes, we have the capacity.
The reason why I ask is because if I ask the question, is it competing with the Embraer? So I'm looking at the Embraer, and its limitations. You see, I don't know the routes where you get most passengers. I'm not in the airline business.
Yes.
But judging by from what I read, if I look at a destination and there is a large group of airlines going in that direction,
Yes.
I'm going to be of the opinion that they've done their homework and they figured
Yes.
there are very many people who actually want to go to that particular destination.
Yes.
For instance, there are planes that leave Mombasa and go to Kisumu. They never were. Some make a stopover in Eldoret
Yes.
and then go to Kisumu.
Yes.
And then some from Kisumu, they just fly directly to Mombasa.
Yes.
So such a plane, I will know what range it has. And I will assume that they've done their homework so they know exactly what sort of market they're hoping to meet.
Yes.
The gaps that I'm sure presented themselves was because for the longest time, we only had Kenya Airways to contend with if you wanted to go to, say, the areas of Kisumu.
Yes.
But since that time, if you go to Lodwar has an airport.
Yes.
If you go to Kitale has an airport.
Yes.
Meaning that entire western region
Yes.
has upgraded their airstrips.
Yes.
So planes can actually go there.
Yes.
And there are people, so you don't have to fly to Kisumu or Eldoret and then drive.
Yes.
You can actually land where you want to go.
Yeah.
Now, with this in mind, that is why I asked that question about the type of plane,
Yes.
the range that it has,
Yes.
because I am certain 748 are not just going to be flying to Mombasa and Okunda and then they'll be content.
Yes.
No, at some point they'll want to venture into other parts of the country because their people want to go there.
Yes.
Am I right in thinking so?
You are right. You are right. Yeah, City Muga.
So George, what I want you to do
Yes.
is tell Paul Mbuvi how long you think it might take before you have planes flying to Kitui. Yes.
Please, George.
Yes, please. Yes. Now, for us, see, for an airline to launch a route, you really have to make a strategic decision.
Right.
Do the market survey, and for us, we are saying that there's demand. The aviation sector has grown over the years. Yeah, with the invention of devolution, we have 47 county governments.
Yeah.
So this one means that those areas that were not active economically,
Yes.
the staffing and all that, they have been activated. So we are targeting this market. So, and by default, there are so many tourists flying all the way from Nairobi to Mombasa and all that. So the coastal strip, the coastal region is basically a very busy area, and I can say it's an economic hub.
Yes.
So we are starting with this because there's a lot of demand, and we have surveyed this. It has taken us time really to structure. So we believe that we'll be able to meet the demands of the segment. So why are we targeting Mombasa?
Yes.
You see, for us, what we are coming back and telling the potential customers, thousands of people have flown with Fly 748 before, and when we left the market, we only said that we were suspending the domestic travels to concentrate on the core business, which is humanitarian aviation. So there's a target, there's a clientele that we are targeting. One, there are those business people who really want to a reliable airline that they can count on. They'll know that yes, this aircraft will depart Nairobi at 6:30, and then we land in Mombasa at 7:45.
Okay.
So that is what we are assuring our passengers, that you can count on Fly 748 to deliver you, to carry you from Nairobi to Mombasa within 1 hour 15 minutes. And this one will be consistent across the road. So the messaging is very clear.
Yeah.
Consistency and stability. Yes, so if we have issues, if an aircraft has issues, then we have the capacity. We already have a backup aircraft that will be able to support us. So I want to really structure this message just to assure all the passengers that all those who have flown with us,
Yes.
we are telling them that Fly 748 Air Services, Fly 748 is back, and we assure you of timely delivery of the service. You will count on us on time because they are business travelers. They have a very tight schedule, and we'll be able to give you the best customer experience.
Yes.
And you will count on us on time delivery. So that is very key for the passengers we are targeting. Thank you.
Now, in terms of, you said very rightly that you're targeting these specific areas because of business people. Will you have periodic offers, maybe for folks like myself who are not necessarily in business but are traveling to the coastal areas for leisure and other purposes?
Yes. Yeah. So for us, the way we have structured the fares and all that, we already have offers, and I call it smart fares because our passengers will be able to really have some baggage allowances. Yes. You see, for some airlines, you will be charged to carry your luggage, but for us, we are giving an extension up to 23 kilograms that we will be able to carry with us. 23? Free of charge, yes. Yes. So this one really, it's a game changer, it's a differentiator, and we are really appealing to those travelers. Yes, you see, it's not that all the days you will not be having baggage.
True.
Yes, so what you are saying, please come. Have a good experience with us. The smart fares and this one will enable you to carry your luggage to the range of 23 kgs without paying a single cent.
Extra.
And this one is really a game changer, and we believe it's a good offer. And for the people like Mbuvi, yes, our fares are starting from 6,500, which we believe is really affordable.
Actually, you are right.
And,
it is very fair.
Yeah. So we believe that this one will appeal to some level or some cadre of the passengers who really want to afford air travel.
Now, in terms of the crisis that we're currently facing at the Strait of Hormuz, there's something the CS said a couple of days ago. The amount of aviation fuel we have in the country. Of course, when it comes to mafuta ya magari, tunaona what is happening.
Yes.
As far as aviation is concerned,
is
there enough fuel? Ama nyinyi mnakunywa mafuta mali kwingine?
Yeah. No. There's we have partners, and we have also engaged our suppliers. Yes, the CS said that we have enough jet fuel to serve us for the next 2 months. So for now, I can say that there is stability, and we'll be able to service our customers. So see, the G2G has offered, has steadied the supply. Yes, and from the stakeholders, we have been assured of supply for the next 60 days, which is sufficient in my view. Yes.
But do you see whatever is happening all in the Middle East affecting even these good offers that you're giving us? Obviously we expect some offers because you're coming back and you want us to join you, remind us, your customers, of how things were before. But going forward, do you think it's going to affect fares? It's going to affect even the frequency of travel, for example? So if you had 3 flights a day to Punda,
are
we going to look at a situation whereby we probably have 1 flight a day, 1 flight a week?
No, for us, we are in scheduled flights.
Okay.
So even if it means that you have 5 passengers, you really can't stop doing that unless there's an emergency like weather and all that. So yes, the crisis in the Middle East, it has affected the costing, and that's why you have seen some airlines have given advisory notice, or just indicating that they'll be surcharging, there'll be fuel surcharge, beginning 1st of April. And how have we arrived here? One, there's a term we call Platts. This one is really a benchmark that the oil producers use, and it collects the fuel trading data from the global market. And then they also assess the daily fuel prices, and then it is published. So for us in Kenya, we already know that we have a government-to-government deal. And this oil, the fuel supply comes from the Arab countries. So in a nutshell, plants went up in the month of April.
Yeah.
But it's going down now. And what I can say is that the average month for March
yes,
is still lower than April. So for May is projected to be slightly higher than April, and the market situation internationally is really sensitive. Let me just give you numbers, Mbuvi.
Please do.
Yeah, so for February, these were the rates. Plus averaged $85.3 per barrel. And then in March, the average cost was around 189.5 shillings. In April, as we speak, the average cost is 211. So even if production costs reduce, the freight charges will still continue because insurance companies, they are very sensitive. So yes, even if that war stops today,
yes,
the insurance companies will really continue to check on this, on the assurance, the safety of the ships using that tunnel.
Okay.
So we expect even if the war stops today, I don't see this cost of fuel going down immediately. It will take time.
What?
Yes, because of the insurance charges. Yes.
But there will be some significant decrease, or that one is neither here
nor there. It will reduce, but then you see, this is how the fuel is. This is the costing structure. We have the Platts, which I've talked about. There are also other charges,
yes,
like the Kenya Pipeline Company. They have a fee.
Yes.
We also have Kipevu oil storage facility fee. We have KA fee, G2G fee, excise duty, petroleum development levy, railway development levy, import duty, merchant survey levy. All these are then subjected to tax. And then fortunately, the other day we had seen the MPs had approved the reduction of VAT from 16 to 8%.
Right.
So it's upon the CS of energy now to gazette that. But the current pricing, I'm talking of 1.65, 1.7 to $1.8 per liter in Nairobi and Mombasa. So that is where we are. That is where we are. And for us, we'll really try to make these rates affordable to our travelers. Yes.
From the market survey that you have conducted, would you say that there is an increase in demand for air travel in Kenya?
There is, because when I started, I said that the invention of devolution really activated several countries and several regions. We are talking of 47 county governments, and these ones are economic hub, like Homa Bay. You remember the other time you had Luo Festival, and there were lots and lots of travels. So what you are saying, these government workers, the county governments, they have businesses across. There are several projects like oil exploration. Technical people want to fly to reach the destinations, have meetings. We have the businessmen who have been awarded contracts and tenders. They want to go and visit the sites, do surveys and all that. So with all this mix, one, the business travelers are really sensitive and they really want to reach on time, so because of the tight schedules that they have. So when I look at aviation, it's projected to grow because of this demand. We have the youth, everyone is flying, so that 1 hour means a lot to many people. We have the tourists, we have business people rushing for conferences and all that. So yes, there's increasing demand for flying, and that is what Fly 748 is tapping into.
So we're saying that there has been an increase in the group that we refer to as the middle class.
Yes, it has grown.
It has grown.
Yes.
And so people feel that they want to favor efficiency because that's what air travel affords you.
Yes.
Efficiency, timely efficiency.
Yes.
And you're saying that from the market survey that you conducted, this is what you have observed over time.
Yes.
Okay. If we look at countries that have mature local air travel,
yes,
air travel locally is not expensive.
Yes.
It is part of the reason why many people prefer to travel, because it is really not that. If you consider the return on investment or what it is that it costs you, are we saying that it is possible for the airline industry, I'm talking about the industry, not fly 748,
yes,
to get to a point where people will be flying at the same rate as that, in the same manner that they use the railway?
You see, when you compare the SGR and for those who are really looking for the first class and all that, the cost, when you compare that, you'll be traveling from Nairobi to Mombasa. It takes you like 6 hours, 5 hours and all that. And then when you compare with the costing that we are giving, 6,500, and you leave out the issues of the taxi from point A to point B. So when you consider all this, we believe that the air travel will beat it, because you want to get to Mombasa in a more efficient way within the shortest time, but then it's also affordable. You are able to afford it, like 6,500. That is really a middle costing structure that we believe that the lowest cadre will be able to afford, because we are now comparing this not with the bus but with SGR. So those who will opt for SGR, you will realize that to fly now, they will find flying more efficient and they'll save a lot of energy, time and all that.
Is the 6,500 one way or is it return?
It is one way. It is one way.
You know, the opportunity cost is the word I was looking for, the phrase I was looking for.
Yes.
When you consider,
yes,
one, the time when that flight leaves.
Yes.
When the last flight from the destination that it was going to comes back.
Yes.
Are you saying that if somebody has a business, say for instance in Mombasa,
yes,
that fly 748 leaves early enough for you to get to Mombasa,
yes,
and go to do your business as somebody who lives in Mombasa,
yes,
and then at the end of the day you're able to actually return back to Nairobi at a time when it is safe for you to go in the, more or less the same manner in which you would actually move from your home to the
office,
yes, and then back.
Yes. Yeah, so this is our schedule. Like from Nairobi to Mombasa, our aircraft will depart at 6:30, and the flight time is just 1 hour 15 minutes. So by 7:45 in the morning, you will be in Mombasa, do all your things, and then if you want to come back from Mombasa to Nairobi, you will depart at 8:45 in the morning and arrive at 10. So the Ukunda route the same. Nairobi to Ukunda is 11 a.m. and we will arrive at 12:10. Ukunda to Nairobi is 1:10 to 2:20 p.m. Nairobi to Mombasa is 3:20. You arrive at 4:35. And then the last flight, you talked of those who want to travel in the morning to Mombasa and then come back the same day. Yes, we are telling our travelers that you'll be able to leave Mombasa with the evening flight from 5:35 and you arrive in Nairobi at 6:50 in the evening. So that one is, we have spread the timings just to accommodate different categories of the traveler. So there's a bit of flexibility, and you will be able to count on us to deliver you to your destinations in good time. Have a good customer experience, because whatever we are offering even to our customers or to the travelers, the moment you check in, you are assured of lift off at exactly 6:30, and then as you travel with us, we also have good services, good customer services as you fly, and then by the time you are disembarking from our aircraft, you will tell a different story. So this is what we are telling our customers or the passengers. Please take this opportunity to book with us. Just log in fly748.com and you will be able to secure your tickets. And I've said inaugural flights will start on 1st of May.
There's something you said earlier on about the infrastructure of the airports around maybe even the entirety of Africa.
Yes.
If I just come back to our counties,
yes,
do we have an infrastructure issue? And that is perhaps why we do not have some of the major airlines such as yourselves operating in some of the can I call them major counties or what? For example, let me just give an example.
Yes.
Do we have a flight to Turkana?
Yeah, there are flights to Lodwar, but for us, you see, the government, the national government, has really invested in infrastructure. Because the other day, the Homa Bay Kabunda airstrip was just opened. I'm aware Kenya Airports Authority has really supported and invested in upgrading of Kisumu International Airport. Even for Kakamega, it was closed just to pave way, to expand the runway.
Okay.
So that is all about infrastructure. Even in Ukunda, the Ukunda, there's a lot of work going on because it's being increased. Currently, it's around 1.17 kilometers long.
Okay.
But then this one is being increased to 1.4 to 1.5 kilometers. This one will allow us, for those of us using the Q400 aircraft,
yes,
we'll be able to have a full payload.
Yes.
And to carry enough capacity, the 78 passengers. Other than that, then you will be restricted because the runway is short and it will not allow you to have the maximum payload.
Perhaps this is an unfair comparison, but the way our infrastructure is, and maybe of other jurisdictions such as the US and the UK,
yes,
are we far behind? This is just okay for us as Africans in terms of development of our infrastructure.
What I can say is that there's a targeted intention from the national government and even the regional governments. There's a lot of activity going on in Ethiopia.
Right.
Rwanda is doing the same. Even here in Kenya, there are so many. If you are in the news,
yes.
So Kenyan government has really mobilized resources, and there's talk of upgrade and construction of new airport. Yeah, so at JKA. So what this one means is that yes, we cannot compare ourselves with US, but we are growing. Okay. Yeah, we are growing, and Kenya is a regional hub in aviation. Yes, we are growing, and we are really excited to tap into this growth. Yes, that is currently happening.
We have approximately 50 airports and airstrips in this country.
What?
50.
What?
Yes.
50.
Yes, 15 of these are major and they're managed by Kenya Airports Authority.
What do you mean major? I only know of JKI, the one in Mombasa.
Keep going.
Ukunda.
Keep going.
Eldoret.
Keep going.
Kisumu.
Isiolo is there.
Malindi
is there, serving many people, many travelers.
Nanyuki.
Yes.
Like, can we
Lokichogio, Kikorok.
Can we land, like, are they called jumbo jets? Can we land a huge jet in Malindi?
Let me ask the question: how many airports on this planet Earth do you think can land such big planes? You need to have the numbers who need to be on such a plane for you to have an airport of that capacity. That's why we have the major airports, what we then call hubs.
Okay.
Now, those are the ones that can take the sort of plane that you're talking of. So when he talks about the increase of the runway, that is to accommodate that size of plane that you speak of.
You know, sometimes I think it's like an egg and a chicken kind of situation, whereby if, no, maybe that's not the one. But, you see, like the way we had the telephone mobile phones were introduced. Then we had the kawaida feature phones that could only take calls. Then with time, people wanted to send SMSs. So the SMS feature was developed.
Yes.
But it is because they already had the mobile phone.
Yes.
Then with time, people wanted to send multimedia messages. You know, I want to send a picture to my grandmother, or my grandmother wants to send a picture of her chicken to me.
Yes.
So we invented the smartphone.
Yes.
And so on. So with time, now we have applications. We can now book flights on our phones.
Yes.
So perhaps if we develop this infrastructure in these particular places, people will start finding use for them. But as long as they're not there, we'll continue using donkeys and cars because...
True, but you know, the when I talk about airports and airstrips, almost every county in this country has something that you can call a decent airstrip.
You can land on.
Yes, and it's tarmac. If you're talking about, people talk about Wajir, people talk about Mandera, people talk about Marsabit. They're tarmacked.
And here I thought Kitui was special.
No. Kitui is
just
near Nairobi. Here in your shida. Like if you ask for a Machakos airport, if you ask you what for, what do you need a Machakos airport for?
Actually,
so
yes.
Just to help you understand this, not all aircrafts will land in any airstrip because there are specifications for the Caravan, the 12-seater. That is the smallest, and then we have the Dash 8 100 and then the Q400.
Right.
So these airstrips, I've just given an example of Ukunda, which had the capacity of 1.17 kilometers. So it is being increased to allow these bigger aircrafts. But I'm not talking of Boeing. Just to allow them to land there. So there are so many things: the wing, the size of the wing, and then the size of the aircraft. So when demand is there, then the government will obviously look into it and avail the infrastructure. So they invest, but then I'll say that this is a bit progressive because the demand has also to be proven. Because Kenya Airports Authority will not just wake up and say that we need to have an airstrip in this place. So there'll be a lot of intergovernmental consultations with all the stakeholders, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and everybody. So if that demand is proven, then they will start. But I don't think they'll start with a big airstrip. So these things are also capital intensive.
Sure.
But I can say that we are in the right direction because you remember we currently have the State Department of Aerospace, which was never there. So this one has really given the government that opportunity to focus on the aviation, which initially was being treated as just a luxury. But like I've told you, 748 Air Services has supported humanitarian aviation sector for the last 31 years. So lifting the cargo from point A to point B, availing the medical supplies, food and all that, you can't say that one is luxury, because you are able to reach those far-flung areas which these ordinary aircrafts are not able to reach. So we can say that flying is not luxury these days. It's a necessity, and it aids you to really become efficient because they are time-conscious Kenyans and travelers, like the tourists. They want to be at point B at 7 a.m. So back to Fly 748, this reliability is really important for us. Yes, you will always count on us to meet your deadlines. And then Fly 748 also, we are riding on the proven experience of 748 Air Services. We are accredited bus aviation, basic risk aviation, which is with our gold standard. This is really the highest rating. So when you are flying with us, there's a robust safety management systems on the background. So our pilots, everything, all the moving parts are being monitored, and there's that safety assurance.
Please explain this a little further.
Yes.
The bus aviation, the safety, explain it that we understand
yes.
why it is necessary,
yes,
and why it is when you have it, it
yes.
is of benefit as a reference point
yes.
to the airline.
Yes, so 748 Air Services, which is our mother company, we are accredited to the highest safety accreditation. We call it gold standard. This is the highest achievable you can get, and under Flight Safety International. So the moment you get this accreditation, it means that you mitigate your risk. Like for us, we have control. It is our SMS, our safety management system is predictive. We are able to tell. We don't just rely on. We don't react to situations. It is predictive, and we monitor all the events, all the occurrences, and we are able to tell that yes, we are flying from Nairobi to Mombasa. These are the risks that have been identified. We are flying from Nairobi to Kunda. These are the risks. These are the potential risks that can happen. So for us, you mitigate them. So every day, every flight, the moment that engine turns on, this flight is being monitored through flight data monitoring. And we are able to tell all the occurrences. At the end of the day, we have a team that analyze all these issues and address them. So the safety assurance bit, and I think Chairman has really reiterated this, we have invested a lot in safety management systems. And this one now gives us comfort, and we are able to speak with authority that, and assurance. I'm talking about safety assurance in aviation. So the moment your SMS, your safety program matures to the level of 748 air services, then this one brings comfort, this one brings assurance to our travelers, because the maintenance program, there's a lot of investment going on, and we also have our partners, the engine suppliers. The maintenance program is very robust. So what we are saying, yes, I started with the reliability bit. This is why we can speak with authority and say that yes, we'll be reliable, because the maintenance program is very robust. And then the customer experience. You see, for us, Fly 748, or by extension 748 air services, when I say that we operate the humanitarian aviation sector, yes, who are we flying with? We are basically flying with our client is UN, the World Food Program and all that. Okay. So this is proven experience, and with the highest demands, you see, the standards have been raised to the highest possible. Yes, when you are flying the UN agencies, it's not a normal operation. It is very stringent. So our procedures of quality management systems and the safety management system are top notch, and that's why we have been able to work with UN agencies for the last 31 years. This is no mean feat movie. Yeah. Yes. I'm curious. Yes. About our cargo transportation within the country. Yes. You've mentioned, when you're doing humanitarian work, of course, you're transporting all these goods and services. Yes. In terms of cargo in this country, do we have a good system? Because I was watching a documentary done, I think, by Dojuvel from Uko, Germany, showing the way we transport fish from Turkana all the way to Busia. Yes. And I was asking myself, is that the only way? Because guys take time. They take days by the time it's getting from Lake Turkana to the folks in Busia County. Yes. Do we have a robust cargo transportation system, air transportation system in Kenya? Yes. I'll take you to Jomo Kenyatta, the cargo terminal. We transport tons and tons of fresh produce and fish and all that. We transport it, and this frontier has also been opened in Kisumu International Airport. Right. It will really target those fresh producers, and this is the same line of thought that led to the expansion of Eldoret International Airport. Okay. So we have not done well at those far areas, but for Nairobi there's a lot of cargo transport. It is in tons and tons, because we have the fresh cut flowers, we have vegetables, yes, the meat and all that. So it is robust. Cargo business is, and it is robust. Reliable, eh? Yeah, it is reliable. It is reliable. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of traveling within East Africa, katika jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, the way we would want to function within our what are they called, that East Africa community, is transport sufficient? Because I see a lot of people traveling through buses, I see a lot of transport through personal vehicles. Hapo kwa flights ndio kidogo sielewi inakuanga namna gani. Is our network that good and reliable such that if I wanted to be in all our East African countries, I can do it with ease?
Yes, you can do it with ease because International Civil Aviation Organization, where all these countries are members.
Yes.
Every country is required to really facilitate travelers. That's why the moment you reach Entebbe International Airport, you will not be treated as a Kenyan. So you will be facilitated to travel as fast as possible. So there's interconnectedness, even in the airspace. So when you fly in Kenya, you will reach a point where Kenyan authorities will now hand you over to the next authority, and you will be supported. So yes, it is robust, and this one is working worldwide. But for East Africa, yes, there's no exception, and there's facilitation across nations. Yes.
Why do people then
in the airspace?
Yeah. Why do people then struggle to use the road network, which will take them sometimes very many hours, if not days?
It's cheaper.
You see, we are talking about affordability here, movie. Yes, but what Fly 748 is doing, the core business is really to change this mindset. Yes, you want to fly.
Yes,
and with the rest that I've talked about, the business people who really, I'm going back to city. This business person, this person who wants really to be efficient.
Yes,
in the course of the day, and he wants to control his time. There's this opportunity cost, rather than taking or driving for 6 hours to Mombasa or 5 hours. And yes, several, the schedule is very tight.
Yes,
the best option for him will just be to fly. And I've said it takes around 1 hour 10 minutes or 1 hour 15 minutes, and you will be in Mombasa. Do everything, go to attend all the meetings that you have scheduled in the day, meet your suppliers, do the inspection for the sites, even if you are going for a seminar and all that, you will be able to do that. Even for the travelers who want to connect with other flights and all that, yes, you will be able to, like in these national parks, you'll only be able to see the big five if you go there very early. So if you go at 10, you'll not be able to see the big five in these national parks and all that. So Fly 748 is assuring the travelers that we will fly them to their destinations on time. And they will also, the customer experience will also be top notch, because it's different. Yes, so I've said our first flight will be on 1st of May.
Yes.
And the customer experience will be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have not seen it.
Anywhere else.
No, they are differentiators. They are differentiators. This one I can assure you.
Yeah.
So all the travelers, potential travelers, there are thousands and thousands of people who have flown with us before. So we are not starting from scratch. Yes, we have a base, and we have people over the years. For the last 2 years, we have always received inquiries. When are you coming back? When are you coming back?
Okay.
And on 2nd of April, we said we are back. Yes, and the familiar bird is back.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Will you have a loyalty program?
Yes, the loyalty program, our marketing and communication team has already designed that, and our loyal customers or the loyal travelers will be able to tap in this, and will be just tune into our social media handles, and it will be released. Yes, it will be released. Yes, we want to really maintain the clientele, the base, those who have flown with us. We want them to continue flying with Fly 748. That is the intention.
There's someone asking, I will be going to Ukunda on 9th of May.
Yes.
With 4 friends.
Yes.
How much will it cost me? I guess what they're asking is if the offer is only for fast. If they want to travel beyond fast, is the offer still there?
Yes, let him log in at fly748.com and he'll be able to book. Yes, I've said the fares are starting at 6,500 and for 4 passengers or 4 flyers, they should be able to get a flight. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
let him log in, book in. We have tried it. It's really... It is versatile, and he'll be able to book at the comfort of his office or at the comfort of his phone, yes, and make payments.
Parting shots, George, as we come to the end of this interview.
Thank you so much. We are saying that the familiar bird is back in the skies. Yeah, so the last 2 years, really, we have taken time to get feedback from the market, and we have also prepared very well for this. We are starting with the domestic flights, but as the year progresses, it's our intention to go regional. So we are in this for the long haul, and flights will be launched. The first one, the inaugural one, will be on 1st of May. So tickets are still selling. Let us log in, fly748.com, and secure your seat. It will be very good experience, and there are differentiators that our customers will be looking forward to flying with us, giving us referrals as groups, as different as organizations, the corporates, the tourists, and all that. So all these categories of the travelers will be catered for. So we are looking forward to seeing all our passengers at Terminal T2. Yes, JKA.
All right.
Yes, I didn't say this. So all the flights will be departing from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Terminal T2. From 6:30, we'll be airborne. Yes, heading to Mombasa.
Okay.
We are really looking forward to this, and it will be exciting. So for those who have not flown before, please give it a try. Yes, you'll never go back to drive it, to self-drive or using SGR. It will be a different experience.
From the smile on your face, I can tell it's going to be an experience and a half.
It will.
All right.
Yes.
Folks, that's it as far as this conversation is concerned. Here is the news with Winnie Maganga.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. Police in Nyalenda, Kisumu County are investigating an acid attack in which a 34-year-old woman was seriously injured by unknown assailants riding a motorbike. The victim, Masia War, is currently admitted at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu, where she is receiving treatment for 45% burns. She sustained severe injuries to her neck, chest, and upper body. It is alleged that Awar had received threats from a relative prior to the attack. Authorities have launched investigations to establish the circumstances surrounding the incident and identify those responsible.
Nilikuwa naenda kwa nyumba nikishafunga kasi yangu, na nilikuwa natembea kwa nyumba kwenda kwa nyumba. Kwa distance kidogo tu nikakutana na watu wa bodaboda. Mimi nilikuwa naenda na baba alikuwa wanakujia hivi. Na nikasuka tu wananimwagia maji. Nilidhani tu walinimwagia maji kwa uso. Kumbe si maji, ilikuwa acid. Niligundua tu acid, ni acid kama nilishachomoka yote.
The Kenya Meteorological Department has forecast continued rainfall in several parts of the country at the start of the week. In its latest outlook, the agency says rain is expected in the northeastern and coastal regions, as well as the highlands east of the Rift Valley, including Nairobi. Rain is also likely in the highlands west of the Rift Valley, the Lake Victoria Basin, and parts of the Rift Valley. President William Ruto's visit to Italy will include a bilateral meeting with one of the country's largest energy companies. According to Kenya's ambassador to Italy, Frederick Matwanga, the company Eni is already undertaking several projects in Kenya and is now looking to support the country's geothermal development. Ruto will also meet Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni for bilateral talks aimed at boosting both diplomatic and trade relations between Rome and Nairobi.
We have a bilateral meeting with one of the largest energy company in Italy called Eni, which is doing a number of projects in Kenya. You might have heard of the biofuels project in Makueni, which is undertaken by through the cooperation with Eni. Also, they are working on to have some contribution to our geothermal development process.
Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua says the 7-day mass action ultimatum issued by the opposition over rising fuel prices is still on. Speaking in Murang'a County, Gachagua said the protest will continue until the government removes all taxes on fuel. He also alleged corruption at the Social Health Authority, claiming it is being orchestrated by a firm linked to senior health ministry officials.
Gen Z, watoto wangu namuomba kwa heshima, nikiwa kiongozi wenu wa jamii, mtu okoe. Gen Z, mtu okoe. Gen Z, mtu okoe.
8 children aged 1 to 14 years have been killed in a shooting, Shreveport, Louisiana, which police are describing as a domestic disturbance. Officers said the incident began about 5 local time on Sunday. A single gunman shot 10 people before fleeing in a stolen car. Police then chased and killed the suspected shooter. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning. I'm Winnie Maganga.
Sports on Radio Generation.
Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno. Manchester City have thrown the Premier League title race wide open after a thrilling 2-1 victory over Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday. Pep Guardiola's side are now just 3 points behind the league leaders. Following a dramatic contest decided by a second-half winner from Erling Haaland, City took the lead through a brilliant solo effort from Ryan Cherki, but Arsenal responded almost immediately when Kai Havertz pressed Gianluigi Donnarumma into an error and equalized just 107 seconds later. The England captain Harry Kane says Bayern Munich still have a lot to play for this season despite already sealing the Bundesliga title. Bayern secured the championship after a 4-2 win over Stuttgart on Sunday. Kane came on at halftime and scored his 31st league goal, taking his season total to 51 goals in all competitions. That is the highest by any player in a top 5 European league since Erling Haaland's 52 goals in the 2022-2023 season. And that's your sports update on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno.
Sports on Radio Generation. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
A very good morning to you and welcome back to Radio Generation. The time right now is 9 minutes past 8 o'clock. And like I said, my name is Mungala Mbuvi, niko na City Muga kwenye studio. But most importantly, we do have our guest and we're going to be talking about the politics of zoning, Ruto's countrywide tours, and also a little bit of what the opposition is doing. He is an advocate and a political analyst as well. He is Professor Martin Olo. Professor, good morning and welcome to Radio Generation.
Good morning and nice to be back to see you guys still going strong.
Karibu sana.
Not to say that you are just a bunch of men. I don't know why you don't have ladies, but that's another story.
No. Professor, have you seen the number of ladies from the
No, I'm saying in this studio now.
Oh, you want them here?
Okay.
Edna and team, kujeni hapa. Prof, before we get down to business,
Yes.
City will be sharing with you our proverb, which is from Rwanda today.
Yes.
And actually this entire week. And you'll give us your thoughts on it.
No worries. Thank you.
Yes. Rwanda, landlocked country, beautiful country.
I agree.
Yes. Even a cackling hen was an egg once.
Even whatever hen is, it was once an egg, which means that everything has its own beginnings, and usually not very familiar beginnings, because some of the greatest people have not been known to have been born great. Yeah? If you take an example of Jesus Christ,
in a manger.
In a manger. And growing up as a son of a carpenter.
And then he was exiled as a child, as a baby.
Then eventually when he starts his ministry, only 3 years. Only 3 years.
Yeah.
And we still talk about it.
Look at the
2,000 years later.
Millennia later.
Yes. So it's do not despise the days of small beginnings.
True.
Yeah.
I like that, Professor. City, you found Professor and I just laughing, and we were talking about a couple of things that have happened in the last couple of days. One of them being the issue of oil. The president, that is President Ruto, did try to explain why our prices are the way they are compared to our neighbors. And he said, we are even richer than our neighbors, which I actually do agree to some extent, but inategemea pia tukiangalia, kuna vitu wako fiti kutuliko, zingine tuko fiti kualiko. But there's one thing he mentioned, that our roads combined to our neighbors, we have more tarmac roads than all of them combined. I don't know if that was a
that did not even strike me. What struck me was his argument as to why our fuel is more expensive than our neighbors. It was the most bizarre explanation I've ever heard. That we are a middle-income country.
Right.
And our prices are like those middle-income countries. Such a joke. Every time the president speaks and he tells me that that those other fellows are sick, I don't know what he had sick is using to measure that others are sick.
Yeah.
Maybe he should also be asking himself whether he is not in the same league like. Because you can't explain fuel. The thing is that we have some taxes that are given on fuel, and those taxes have an impact on the price.
Yes.
We also have other levies like the road levy, and so there are things that we do that actually makes our fuel expensive.
Yes.
So you explain it that way. Don't tell us, we are middle income country, we are not like our neighbors. That is a bit bizarre.
Now, opposition wamesema wataanza maandamano kesho until things calm down in terms of prices. Is that a viable option as far as opposition and their mode of operation is concerned?
I think it's more than just about fuel. It's about putting pressure on the president and his government, and you must find an excuse and use it to articulate your issue. Yes, fuel pricing is important.
Yeah,
particularly when you hear where it's come from. The MD of Kenya Pipeline, the MD of EPRA,